Hello, and welcome to Queen's University. We're very happy that you can be here to learn more about graduate studies at Queen's. My name is Tara McDonald, and I am one of the Associate Deans at the School of Graduate Studies and Postdoctoral Affairs. And I'm also a professor in the psychology department here at Queen's. And joining me today is Aileen. Aileen is a current graduate student at Queen's. So she's here to talk about the graduate student experience. So do you want to say hi, Aileen?
Yeah, hi. I'm currently in my hopefully final year of my PhD in law. I'm an international student. I come from Indonesia. I've never been to Canada before, and very much new to PhD and grad life. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have about sort of the more everyday aspect of being a Queen's student and being in grad studies.
So for the people who are watching today, this is being recorded. So we're just going to go through the presentation, but we're going to stop and leave 15 minutes for questions, and the questions will not be recorded. So if you have any questions, just wait till the end and we can address them then. Okay, just trying to advance my slides. There we go. So I'm going to start with a land acknowledgement. So Queen's University is situated on traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territory, and we're very grateful to be able to live and learn and play on these beautiful lands. So I'm going to start just by telling you a little bit about the community of graduate students here at Queen's. So there are over 5,400 full-time graduate students from Canada and around the world. At Queen's, we have over 900 faculty members across 149 graduate programs. We have 23 research centers and institutes. We have over 40 Canada Research Chairs. And Queen's ranks first in Canada and sixth in the world in the 2025 Times Higher Education Impact rankings. So we have a lot to be proud of on our beautiful campus. So Queen's is situated in Kingston, Ontario, which is a lovely community of about 130,000 people. It was the original capital city of Canada. It has a lot of historical sites, a lot of natural beauty, a lot of things in the community that students can participate in. It also is really well situated. We're about 2 hours from Toronto, 2 hours from Ottawa, and 2 hours from Montreal. So if you want to get out and go to a bigger city, those three cities are just a train or bus ride away. Aileen, do you want to chat about the student experience living in Kingston?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I was struck by the most when I moved to Kingston at first was just how beautiful the city is. It's right by Lake Ontario, right by the water, as Tara mentioned, super close to both Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto as well. But Kingston itself as a city is so vibrant. There's a really rich student life on campus, but also I've been very fortunate to be able to be part of the Kingston community as in general. So lots of groups and choirs and community activism groups that you can join in. And in the summer, the city of Kingston does a great job at putting on a lot of free amazing programming. So this includes like movies in the square. So they'll put up a huge projector and you can bring your own camping chairs or lawn chairs. And then it's just a whole city movie night, essentially. They'll have popcorn there too. And they also do salsa in the square, where every Tuesday night they do like salsa dancing in the square. So there's a lot of different opportunities like that to get involved and meet fellow students, but also fellow Kingstonians.
And if you're outdoorsy person, there's lots of water sports because we're, as Aileen said, right on the lake. Beautiful hiking, lots of trails just outside of Kingston. So it is a really great place to live. Our campus is also exceptionally beautiful. It's been voted one of the most beautiful campuses on Canada. Here I've selected photos so you can see how pretty it is in all four seasons. Queen's is one of Canada's oldest universities. It was founded in 1841, and we have a variety of lovely old limestone buildings that really give that gorgeous feel. Do you have anything to add, Aileen?
No, it's just that it's
Mhm.
really pretty.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for you all to be able to see Queens campus and Kingston in general.
Okay, so I'm going to chat a little bit about the School of Graduate Studies and Postdoctoral Affairs. So, our mission is to create a learning and research culture that inspires graduate students and postdoctoral fellows to lead the way toward a better future for our global community. And no matter what you are interested in, you will certainly find a program at Queen's that will fit for you. So Queen's is divided into 6 faculties. So we have 3 larger faculties that would have multiple programs. So the largest is the Faculty of Arts and Science. So they offer 40 master's degrees and 22 doctoral degrees. Smith Engineering comprises all of the engineering and applied science, 18 masters and 10 doctorates. And then we also have the Faculty of Health Sciences, which has 17 masters and 10 doctorates. Kingston General Hospital is right on campus at Queen's, and so that creates a really great opportunity for people who are interested in being clinicians to be able to practice in the hospital. We also have 3 what we call departmentalized faculty. So these are specific departments that are represented as a faculty. So one is the Smith School of Business with 8 master's degrees and 1 doctoral degree. The Faculty of Education with 4 different master's degrees and 1 doctoral degree. And then our Faculty of Law, 2 masters and 1 doctorate. So as a graduate student, your home faculty will actually be the School of Graduate Studies and Postdoctoral Affairs, which I'm going to talk about in detail. But you'll also be housed within one of the programs in one of the faculties. So if you want to go online and explore all the different degrees that we have, you'll see that we have some innovative degrees that combine different disciplines. And oftentimes there's a lot of cross faculty. So I see lots of exciting research coming out of Faculty of Science, Health Science, and Smith Engineering. So applying engineering to health questions. So there's lots of cross-pollination at Queen's. I think that's one of the really great things about Queen's. It's a very research-intensive university, but it's also small enough that we do have a lot of communication across faculties and a lot of opportunities for students to learn different things from, different professors across different disciplines. Do you have anything you want to add, Aileen?
No, I think just to really chime in, like I wasn't familiar with this structure before I came to Queens because in my previous institutions, it's just been a bit different. But actually, this structure, what Tara mentioned, there's a lot of cross-pollination and a lot of opportunity to not only find friends in different departments, but to collaborate academically and professionally within those circles, right? So one of my really good friends is actually a PhD candidate in engineering. I don't know the first thing about engineering, but we've actually talked a lot about the overlap between engineering and law, which I didn't think was very many. So that's just to say that there's a lot of opportunity to collaborate and go across disciplines when you're joining us at Queen's.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about how the School of Graduate Studies and Postdoctoral Affairs, which is a mouthful, so I'm going to call it SGSPA from now on, how we support graduate students and postdoctoral fellows. So, one thing that we really truly believe is that learning at Queen's is inspired by an inclusive and collaborative community where we prioritize your well-being for academic and professional success. So, we understand that students come ready to learn and contribute to scholarship, but in order to do that to their full potential, they need to be cared for. They need to have access to health services. They need to have adequate funding. They need to feel like they're included in a larger community. So in addition to the scholarship, SGSPA tries to support students in a kind of broader way. So how do we do this? So we try to support your health and financial well-being. So I'm going to talk a little bit about funding later, and then in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a whole session just on funding. We also have student wellness services right here on campus. So students can see a doctor, they can see a counselor. We run workshops and seminars to help students take care of their physical and mental health. So we really believe that that is a pillar that we need to support so that students can thrive. We also know that while you're here, one of your big goals is to contribute to scholarship. However, students obviously have an eye to the future, what they want to do after they leave Queen's. So we, in collaboration with some of our partner resources here on campus, really do a lot to prepare students for career success. So sometimes that looks like staying in academia, sometimes that looks like non-academic jobs, but we try to make sure that students know how to articulate the skills that they've learned and be really prepared for whatever that next step is for them. Obviously, as the School of Graduate Studies and Postdoctoral Affairs, we provide administration support for all of the graduate programs. So we have a whole team of professionals here who really work with the specific units to make sure that everything is administered smoothly from, the day that you attend something like this to the great day that you walk the stage at convocation, that you have support for administration along the way. We try to create a culture of inclusivity and belonging. We want everybody to feel like they have a place at Queen's, and we want everyone to feel connected to their specific program, to the larger graduate community, to Queen's, and to Kingston. We want people to feel like this is home for however long you're going to be with us here at Queen's. So we really work to establish that. We know that the world is changing, that science is changing, so we do our best to support innovative programming and growth. We also update and take stock of our programs, and we support programs in trying to change and develop and improve. That's one of our goals at SGSPA. And if you are in a research-based program, so a research-based master's or doctoral programs, you'll work very closely with one professor at Queen's. That will be your advisor or your supervisor. And we know that that relationship, the way that you interact with that person who's going to be helping you with your research, really has a profound impact on how much you enjoy graduate school, how much you get out of graduate school. So we've established a lot of supports for both students and supervisors to make sure that that relationship has good communication, that people are on the same page with their expectations, so that that can be like the cornerstone of your scholarship here at Queen's, a really great relationship with your supervisor. So we work again with both students and supervisors to help this relationship thrive. So that's just at a very high level how we try to support graduate students and postdocs here at Queen's. Okay. All right, we have a lot of different programs that you can take part in. I'm just going to highlight a few. We're not going to go into all of them. But one of my favorites is the PhD Community Initiative. So this program's been recognized numerous times for being innovative. So what we do here is we take students who are interested in joining this program. We put them in multidisciplinary groups and we match them with a community partner who has a challenge or a problem to solve. And the interdisciplinary groups of graduate students work as consultants. They say, okay, how are we going to tackle this problem? Sometimes that is actually conducting research, it's doing focus groups, it might be interacting with people who work in that community initiative to really help the community partners solve that problem or address that challenge. It's a way that students can develop their skills, work in a team, give back to the community. You really work with this team for 8 months. So a lot of our students become close friends. They, go to each other's convocations at the end of it. So it's a way to feel embedded in Queen's. It's a way to use your skills in a novel way. And it's a way to give back to the community. So this is a program that Queen's is very proud of, and it's really amazing what the students are able to accomplish. We also have the Queen's University Administrative Internship. So this is a paid internship where students can apply to work 10 hours a week in an administrative unit at Queen's. So this gives experience in academia, but in more the administrative side of it. So you'll be working with one of the units within campus. Sometimes it's helping other students, sometimes it's helping with program development, but it really gives an eye of what's it like to work on the administrative side of a university, which provides really great experience and sometimes can lead people along a career path that they hadn't thought about before. We also have a new program that was just developed a couple of years ago called this Public Scholarship Program. This is a program that extends graduate student scholarship to communities with a focus on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So this is thinking about how the work that you're doing at Queen's can relate to one of those Sustainable Development Goals and how you can make your work more accessible to the public. So how you can give your research away so that it affects a wider community of people. So again, these are not the only 3 opportunities that we have at SGSPA, but these are some of the programs that I wanted to highlight. There's a lot that you can get involved in. And I actually think that it's a really good idea for students to get involved in something like this because it takes you out of your lab and you're interacting with the broader Queen's community and seeing how the skills that you're developing can be used to make the world a better place. I think it is a really kind of empowering experience for students. Do you want to add anything, Aileen?
No, just very briefly, I know a lot of my friends who went through the PhD CI. Um, it's a really rewarding way to get in touch with the community, and also it makes your employability, I guess, really soar, even more so than a normal doctoral candidate would. That's because we actually have an opportunity to put our academic, theoretical skills into practical use, right? And being able to quantify that and say, hey, this is actually the result of the project that I worked on through the PhD CI. That's really, really valuable for your future career goals as well. And the same goes with the other opportunities as well through the internship and the public scholarship program.
Great. Yeah, indeed. We know that employers are looking for leadership and teamwork skills in addition to the very specific disciplinary skills that you're learning. And all of these different programs can help develop those skills. All right, we also host writing retreats at SGSPA. So these are days when students who are trying to work on their dissertation or finish a paper really find a community of people who are also working on the same goals. So some of them are here at Queen's. We often host them on PA days so that people with kids can have daycare and also work on their dissertations. In the summertime, we have some of them at our different properties at Queen's, our research properties. So some of them are like a camp. So you can go away beyond the lake. During the day, you can go swimming, canoeing, hiking, all the things you want to do at this lovely property we have, but then also have a dedicated time just to sit and write. So that's really enjoyable. Sometimes writing and finishing a thesis can feel like a solitary experience. So this is a way you can do it in a community and really have that dedicated time just for writing. I really love the 3-minute thesis. It is a competition, but we also like to think of it as a showcase or a celebration. This is a competition that's run across many different countries in the world where students need to distill their thesis into a 3-minute talk using just one slide, which is actually a big challenge to take that document that's going to be 180 pages and talk about it in 3 minutes. But it is a good skill to be able to distill what's really critical about your research, communicate it to a wider audience, Even if you don't participate in it, it's great to go and just learn what other people are doing here at Queen's. And we've had quite amount of success with our students. One of our students this year has really progressed up to the Canadian competition. Yeah, so it's really good for refining your communication skills, for sharing your research with a wider audience, and just really establishing that skill of being able to distill a really complicated idea into something that's accessible and concise. And then if you want to spend a little bit more time talking about your research, we also have something called Grad Chat. This is an interview that we can do with students that is hosted on the radio station here at Queen's. So these are pre-taped, so you don't have to speak online. You can, take a few takes. But again, it's really a great opportunity to share your research, to give it away. And a lot of other people might be interested in hearing about the amazing things that you're doing here at Queen's. Do you want to add to anything, Helene? No, okay. All right, so some of you on the call might be international students, so I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk about some of the supports that we have specifically for international students. So one amazing resource that we have is the Queen's University International Center, or QUIC. So these are experts in supporting international students at all stages. So pre-arrival, helping them with study permits and visas, transitioning to Canada, and then establishing a community of international students to support them throughout their time at Queen's. Our international students need to be covered by the University Health Insurance Plan, so they can answer all your questions about UHIP and what that will mean for you. And they really work to connect international students with resources and partners on campus and in the community so that they feel connected and can thrive here at Queen's. Because we understand that it's a big challenge to not only start graduate studies, but start graduate studies in a brand new country. So we really want to make sure that our international students have the support that they need. Other campus supports for international students include this Society for Graduate and Professional Students, International Graduate Student Network. We have a specific counselor who is skilled in cross-cultural issues, Dr. Aruna Makana. So if international students would like to speak with a counselor, she's often a great choice because she is well-versed in helping students deal with transition to a new culture. We have the Ban Ray House, which is a center for mature women students, often from other countries, where they can offer support, offer a place to work. They offer some funding as well for students, especially those with children. There's the Yellow House. So this is to support people from different communities, all different kinds of communities, really across the diversity of different types of identities, all in one place. It's a place where people can feel included and relaxed and connected. For our Indigenous students, we have the Four Directions Indigenous Student Center that supports Indigenous students throughout their academic journey at Queen's. And we also have the Society of Graduate and Professional Students. And then finally, we have the SGSPA Graduate Inclusivity Fellows, one of which is Aileen. So I'm going to move it to the next slide, and she can tell you all about our Graduate Inclusivity Fellow program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tara. So I'm joining you all today in my capacity as a Grad Inclusivity Fellow. So we are all current graduate students at Queen's. There's 4 of us there. So Marcus, myself, Bhavya, and Elise. We all come from pretty different backgrounds, but we are all current graduate students who are just really passionate about sharing our experiences, our tips and tricks and insights as a grad student at Queen's. So if you would like to ask us any question, which you can, about campus resources, grad student life, and preparing for grad studies, transitioning from master's to PhD or undergrad to master's, feel free to scan that QR code, and that will take you to a form that you'll just fill out. And you'll have the option of contacting one of us. And over there, you can see a specific description of what we recommend you talk to us about. So for myself, it'd be about Housing, as I love a good housing deal. Kingston campus life, food on campus, that's very important. Grad life, professional development, conference and speaking, and experience as an immigrant and a first generation university student. So there are a lot of different services that we can offer there, a lot of different topics that we can talk about. So feel free to drop us an email and then we can all go from there. We all look forward to hearing from our prospective and incoming grad students.
Yeah, they are a great resource because sometimes it's really helpful to hear about it from a student perspective. All right, so if you're interested in applying to Queen's, there's a common application, and these are some of the evaluation criteria that professors look at. So one is grades. Sometimes people think you have to have perfect grades to apply to grad school. You do not. Sometimes we see that people are like the late bloomers that, their grades get better as they go through their undergrad. And we see a lot of students who come to graduate school with that trajectory. So we will require, however, transcripts. You'll also need 2 letters of reference. It's always a good idea to get letters of reference from professors who know you well and can speak to your individual attributes and potential for research, especially for those who are interested in applying to a thesis-based program. Your research experience, and your statement of research interest. So those are some of the main things that we use in order to evaluate students and their suitability for graduate school. While you're here, we do offer funding to students, especially those in our research-based programs. So I'm not going to elaborate on this very much because we're going to do a whole complete session on funding, but I did want to briefly mention it because obviously I know that that's a concern that students have. So graduate student funding comes from a variety of sources, including external awards. So the tri-agency in Canada. So the tri-agency is SSHRC, the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada, and NSERC, the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, and CIHR, the Canadian Institute of Health Research. They all offer funding programs for students at the master's and PhD level. These are competitive, but we encourage our students to apply to them. We also have the Ontario Graduate Scholarship Program, which again is an external funding agency that does provide support to students, again, on a competitive basis. We also have internal awards at Queen's. So many students have a Queen's Graduate Award or other specific Queen's awards. We also have graduate research fellowships. So this is when funding comes from a supervisor's grant directly to students to help fund their education. And many of our students have employment income as well. So the most common is teaching assistantships. So helping administer a class. So sometimes it can be teaching or grading or meeting with students individually, and also research assistants. So this is when you are helping a professor with research duties that are unrelated to your thesis. So that's in a nutshell the different sources of funding. So people have different funding packages with different amounts from these sources. We do have a minimum funding level for PhD students who are in years 1 to 4. So the minimum is $23,000, but actually looking across students in PhDs year 1 to 4, the mean is around $33,000. That's the mean income for graduate students. There is no university-wide minimum for masters, but the mean is around $23,000 per year for master's students in years 1 and 2. So you can look or talk specifically to the program that you're interested in to see what the funding is for that specific unit, because there is variance both across within units at Queen's, but this will just give you some idea of how much funding you can expect from Queen's. All right, so if you have any questions at SGSPA, our admission team is here to answer your questions about the admission or application process or specific questions about a program. And as Aileen kindly talked about, we also have our graduate inclusivity fellows. They can answer your questions and help you navigate the challenges of grad school. They are experts at being a student here at Queen's. So there's a QR code there that you can scan to learn more about that. And then finally, I just wanted to invite you to 2 more sessions like this. So one session is on November 20th at noon called Navigating the Graduate Application Process. This is giving some support for people who are actually completing their application at Queen's. And then on December 3rd, we'll have a whole session dedicated to funding your graduate education here at Queen's. So what I just went through in about a minute, we're going to take a whole hour and really unpack funding at Queen's and how to apply for funding. So that's it for the session. Again, people who are here, please stay on. We can answer your questions. But yeah, we are so happy that you're interested in applying to graduate studies at Queen's, and we hope to see you here. Thank you so much for coming to this presentation.